No God in the ceremony, hmm? Getting a lot of turndowns, aren't you? Surprising, isn't it, how the name of God is still respected in this town? Your father and me go back a long ways, young lady. He's done me a lot of favors. Got me tickets to shows. I'd like to help him out. My mother, thank God she's not alive today, landed in this country 65 years ago. 4 infants in her arms. Kissed the sidewalk the minute she got off the boat. She was so happy to be here. To be out of Russia alive. Across the ocean alive. More dead than alive if you want to know the truth. 16 days in the steerage. 15 people got consumption. 5 died. My father, thank God he's not alive today, came over 2 years earlier, 67 years ago. Worked like a son of a bitch to earn our passage. Pardon my French. You don't want God in this ceremony, so you're probably familiar with it. My father worked 14 hours a day in a sweatshop on Lower Broadway, number 315. Our first apartment was a 5-flight walk-up, 4.5-room cold water flat, with a bathtub in the kitchen and the toilet down the hall. 142 Hester Street. 3 families used the toilet. An Italian family, a colored family, a Jewish family. 3 families with different faiths. Now, one thing each of those families had in common. They had in common the sacrifices they had to make to get where they were. What they had in common was persecution! Persecution! So they weren't so glib about God. God was in my mother's every conversation. How she got her family out of Russia, thank God, in one piece. About the pogroms, the steerage, about those that didn't make it, got sick and died. Who could they ask for help? If not God, then who? The Great Society? The Department of Welfare? Travelers' Aid? This city was a concrete jungle to the families that came here. They had to carve homes and lives out of concrete. Cold concrete. You think they didn't call on God, those poor, suffering greenhorns? You see the suit I'm wearing? Expensive? Custom made. My father, thank God he's not alive today, worked 16 hours a day in a shop on Broome Street. And his artistry, for 1/10 of what you pay today, makes meatloaf out of this suit. 145-147 Broome Street. So tired, so broken in spirit, that when he climbed the 6 flights of stairs each night to the 3-room unheated flat the 5 of us were crowded in 171 Attorney Street, that he did not have the strength to eat. The man did not have the strength to eat. Turning thinner and yellower by the day. For lack of what? A well-balanced diet? Too much cholesterol? Too many carbohydrates and starchy substances in his blood? Not on your sweet life. For lack of everything. What was God to my father? I'll tell you. Sit down, I'm not finished. I'll tell you what God was to my father. God got my father up those 6.5 flights of stairs, not counting the stoop, every night. God got my mother, worn gray from lying to her children about a better tomorrow she didn't believe in, up every morning with enough of the failing strength that finally deserted her last year at Miami Beach at the age of 91 to face another day of hopelessness and despair. 3134 Biscayne Boulevard. God. And you tell me you don't want him in the ceremony? Look at these hands. The hands of a judge. The hands of a professional man. Not on your sweet life. The hands of a worker. I worked. These hands toiled from the time I was 9. Strike that, 7. Every morning up at 5. Dressing in the pitch black to run down 7 flights of stairs, 13 steps a flight, I'll never forget them. To run 5 blocks to the Washington Market, unpacking crates for 75 cents a week. $1 if I worked on Sundays. Maybe. Where was my God then? Where? On those bitter cold mornings, with my hands so blue with frostbite they looked like ladies' gloves, was God here in my heart, where he was, has been, and will always be till the day they carry me feet first out of this courtroom. Knock wood, God grants it soon. My first murder trial. Where are you going? I'm not finished.
You're not gonna marry us.
I'm not finished. Don't be a smart punk. You're an know-it-all wise guy punk, aren't you? I've seen your kind. You'll come up before me again.